Hello and welcome back to STB League here for Season 22 Mexican Grand Prix for the Tier 3 race of the week. The third Mexico Grand Prix, and as you can see, it is a soaking wet Mexico circuit. It's almost like the conditions just played off on the end of Tier 2. So, what's been interesting to see, we've had Maldi and Jamo trying to do some laps intermediates. It doesn't quite go the way, it seems to be wet at the moment. Maldi's had an unfortunate collision with Pirlo, and Matador's has already been disqualified. I'm not sure how that's happened. So yeah, it's going to be very challenging for these Tier 3 drivers. Pistol going into this qualifying session in these very wet conditions, especially if we want to be using dry setups if it's dry in the race.
Indeed it is, and we saw Tier 2 yesterday, what gambling onto what tyre, how much of an effect that actually has in a Grand Prix when it's transitioning from dry to wet. Apparently I've been hearing the drivers that there might be some rain in the Grand Prix of itself. I think they told me that actually it will be dry first off in the Grand Prix and then transition over to the wet. So this might be a repeat of Tier 2 last season. Sorry, not last season. Yesterday. Yesterday, sorry. So it's going to be a very difficult Grand Prix in terms of when do you pit, when do you not pit, do you gamble now, do you gamble later? Just, pretty much replicating Tier 2. Also, what's happened with Maldi is, saw him on the straight, he was about to start a lap time, and Pirlo literally just stops directly onto the racing line, on the pit lane straight, did not move out the way, and Maldi crashed into the back of him, and ripped off his front right tyre. So that's why he's DNF in the qualifying session. And his rival James come across the line to improve on his lap time, but whilst he has improved by 5%, he's not beaten out Maldi's time for 129.520. So it's all pretty much down to JMO. Can he beat out Maldi in the qualifying session? And if he can, going into the Grand Prix, it's going to greatly benefit him. The gap. I'm sorry, I'll let you tune in for a second. Matthew, hold on. The gap between Maldi and JMO going into the Grand Prix is 13 points. Around 48 or so points, I think. I'm not too sure. But what I do know is that in order for Maldi to carry this on to Brazil, or rather JMO to carry this on to Brazil, he's going to have to gain 13 or more points to get it over going to Brazil for the sprint race and for the also actual race in of itself. So with this gap in mind, and with Maldi crashing out of the qualifying session, Matthew, do you think Maldi's going to be able to win the championship tonight?
Well, with the gap he's got, it's 13 points he can't lose by to Jamo. I'm sure it is very, very possible. If even if Maldi picks up a podium, that will be that'll be more than enough to seal the championship. So if long Maldi gets a podium, he's got his championship in the bag. So I don't see why not. Obviously, he might be hurt here by the qualifying, and Maldi's pace is not necessarily that good in the wet. So if it is going to be raining later on in the race, might be some issues with Maldi later on. But yeah, let's see how this all works out. But for the moment, a lot of people seem to be going on intermediates now. Seems a bit of a mix of wets and intermediates at the moment. Cartel's just going on intermediates. I think it is transitioning to light rain now, so I think it is getting drier. So we expect these lap times to be its fastest right to the last 3 seconds of this qualifying session.
And that's exactly what Maldi does not want. This is exactly what he's judging right now as he's watching this qualifying session. Just
watched Yilmaz come out of the pits, and he's already almost binned in the barriers at turn 1. So not something you want to be doing right out your lap on the out lap. But it's kept the following intact, it seems, so you can continue and go on and set another lap time.
Well, JMO right now, I don't think he's improving on his lap time right now. I think he's got around 3 tenths or so slower than his previous lap time. With around 3 minutes left to go in the qualifying session, it's just whether or not, it doesn't really matter who's pole in this Grand Prix. It's just whether or not JMO overqualifies Maldi or not. He's 2 tenths up, so right now, he still would not be able to overqualify Maldi in the qualifying session. It's all going down here into the last sector. Of course, if JMO does overqualify Maldi by even just a millisecond, it's enough to be ahead of him going into the Grand Prix. This is huge, but can JMO do it? comes round the last turn across the line. Does he beat out Maldi? He does. He's up into P4. He's got around almost a second or so on Maldi. And Maldi is going to be absolutely raging at the bit from that.
Oh, Juan's just cut the hairpin as well. That's another one. We need to you can't be cutting corners here. We should be well aware that you can't be cutting corners in qualifying. Qualifying ban for the next race. We saw, I think it was Memo do it earlier before we started the stream off. Callum now on an out lap, so he'll be looking to get a lap time on his intermediates. He's got to get his lap time done in first lap, I think. So he won't have too much practice on the intermediates and those better grip. But these lap times are going to be crucial, these last 3 laps.
Well, can Callum steal the deal on getting pole position going into what potentially will be a wet Mexico City Grand Prix? We'll have to see, and he'll come around these sections shortly to start off his lap time. But Angels, out of absolutely nowhere, has got to 127.999, around 1,000th off of a 128 dead. And now Callum is not facing the challenge to improve and steal the deal on being P1, but to rather overtake Angels to get P1. Okay, never mind. Mad Max has got across the line, 127.709. Mad Max has now got himself in that pole position. But of course, with the new flurries of people doing their lap times, of course, there will be with the more dry conditions. With the more dry conditions, we will see people improving on their lap times. So this is most likely where you'll see most people, more and more people improving and getting pole position. So we're now going to go on Callum's lap time. Can he get back his pole position?
Yep, obviously we see these intermediate conditions coming in. I think Mad Maxwell and MGeld have done the lap times at the worst time possible, to be honest. They've done it a bit too early. It's given everyone else an extra lap or so to get the conditions, unless they're going to go for another lap right after those ones. Jamo's out, so he's not going to improve.
Well,
he's 2.5 tenths up, even just in the first sector alone.
Right now, Callum is absolutely stalling through for his previous lap time. He'll go into the double apex here, into the right-hander. Like you said, 2 tenths up currently, but is that enough to actually get a pole position right now? It's actually not. He's got to gain 5 tenths through sector 2 and then sector 3. If he is to get his pole position back, he's got to beat Mad Max, who's got that 127.709. Can he do it right to the death? Here we go, Callum. Going to enter sector 3 now. It's going to be a lap time 1 second off his lap time right now.
Not surprised.
Mad Max improved 127.326. But right now, Callum is on course to get this pole position. He'll come around the last turn. Can the Red Bull do it? Can he get a pole position here in Tier 3 STB? He'll come around the last turn. Callum going close to the curve on the inside. And he's got it. 126.732. Side effects, over to you.
Side effects?
Yeah, he was P2 earlier on.
I thought he meant in terms of like me calling me side effects. Yeah, he's half second up, but doesn't like it's going to be really pushing at the moment, and that's just the first sector, but he's half second up, so that's something. He's got to get through the second sector delta at the moment. Who's that Alpha man? That's Toman, I think, has just come on, he's invalidated his lap time, so...
Oh my word, side effects, 1.6 seconds up! MJ's also up. How much is he up by? 5 tenths right now.
Yep.
Right now he's got pole position, so MJ will come around the last turn. The McLaren, can he secure, well not secure, but can he get this provisional pole? Can he do it? No, he can't. He messes up in sector 3. But side effects has got pole position. Came around the last turn, he had 1.6 seconds up in his lap time. Sector 3, he improved by a couple of tenths or so. And because of that, he came on the last turn to take away pole position away from Callum. And going into the Grand Prix, the Ferrari is on top of the grid.
Yep, even in the wet conditions, side effects is showing he is the qualifying master for this tier. Side effects, obviously, yep, 26.3 by 4 tenths of a second, so it wasn't exactly a small gap in the end. I told you, the later you leave it, the better. So yeah, side effects on pole position here for the Mexican Grand Prix. Callum P2, Mad Maxwell P3, MGL P4, Yilmaz P5, Mero P6, JMO P7, and Toman P8 that was on the set of wet tyres. Lotto P10, sorry, Giovanni P9, Lotto P10, Diesel P11, Jimmy P12, Pirelli P13, Juan P14, Rafita P15, and I think that was Master P16, I believe.
Well, going into the Grand Prix now, we've had an entertaining qualifying session to say the least, with Sort Effects yet again getting pole position. Seems like every single race we commentate here on STB in Tier 3, he always gets that pole position, but he never quite manages to keep it. Going into the Grand Prix it is sunny skies, so at the end of it, we'll see if it turns to that gloomy wet weather, or if it will stay to these nice rainbows and sunshines here in Mexico.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at the Discord and I'm just seeing Toman's going on about a 26.6 deleted, which I think probably might have gone P2. So Toman's obviously not happy about that. It'd be interesting to see what everyone else does on strategies, because if there is rain coming towards the end of this race, and if it comes earlier, I might be seeing different strategies. Maybe some people might be going for mediums, some people might be wanting to stretch it on the wets. We'll see what everyone does. But if you go mediums, you're committing to a two-stop if it doesn't rain hard enough and then we're towards the end. But we will see as everyone gets all these tyres up. Majority hards, a couple of mediums, Mem on mediums, Juan on mediums. So, you see how this all works out. We've got a very, very long straight into turn 1, expect some position changes and some squabbles going into that chicane as well. So it'll be a very interesting turn 1. I wonder if anyone can copy what I did and go from P13 to P12.
Well, we had in Tier 1, we've almost had the same thing in Tier 3 right now in terms of the gap between P1 and P2 in the qualifying session, which was 2 tenths. So Side Effects and Callum having a good old squabble to the end was quite entertaining to see. But Side Effects right now, P1, like I said yesterday in Tier 2, it's kind of a lie in disguise, you know. You don't necessarily want to be pole position around a track like Mexico where you have such a rundown into turn 1. You can easily gain easy time by just using your slipstream, using your ERS going down into that first turn, and you can easily have a side-by-side battle between the man ahead of you. So Solidtek's got to be really aware of that when they go down into the first turn. Cam's going to absolutely burn out that ERS, no doubt in my mind that he will. He's going to be desperate to get the overtake. He's going to be winning a Grand Prix a while if he can do that. And he'll be absolutely thriving on it if he can get it. But surely we'll come round in the formation map. But Matthew, what do you think or what do you think Marty's race is going to be like?
Well, first of all, he's obviously stuck in the middle of that pack, so he needs to find himself, get ahead of. I think the crucial thing is simply getting ahead of Jamo first. If you get ahead of Jamo, and then if you can try and build on that, it will only make his life easier, and he can just concentrate on what he needs to do to gain as he almost loses it, or he's really trying to burn out those tyres through the hairpin. But yeah, he needs to get ahead of Jamo, which is right directly in front of him. But yeah, very long run into turn 1. If we can use less ERS going to turn 1 until we get in positions, you can use some of that ERS later on to try and pull away. But yeah, slipstream is going to be very much crucial around here. We'll see how it all works out as everyone else now parks into a slot. What is the Mercedes doing? Jimmy, so that's Memo. You can't be doing that. Maldi or disallowed that, and in fact he's just done it right in front of Maldi. Maldi's disqualified. What's going on, Maldi? Why is it always disqualifying his grid slots? He's done that about 4 times in a row, I swear. I don't know how he's doing it now.
Well, here we go. Pirelli rounds off.
Overshot it.
Pirelli rounds off the formation lap. 5 lights, I guess. Green light, go, go, go! Here in STB, Tier 3, in Mexico, and Max the brilliant start of the grid. But look at that, just behind almost 4-1, going into the first turn here. There's a big commotion in the midfield. That's Yilmaz, Memo, and also Jamo. And going into the first turn now, it's going to be 3 wide between the 3 cars here. You can see Matt Max and Callum also having a battle for P2 right now. Matt Max going to have that inside line, and going into turn 3, he's going to have the outside line. Callum's going to get the overtake.
And Diesel.
And now James can be side by side here with Yilmaz going into the left hand here. We've got to keep our eyes on this as just one little mistake from Jamo, and it could mean the championship is over. Look at that, STB Marty going very wide into the left hander here. He's got his championship rival right up ahead of him. Right now, he is currently the champion of Tier 3. He's not losing 13 points to Jamo right now, so currently he is champion. And we'll see if he can retain this later on in the Grand Prix right now. These sections going to be so difficult for Larry to manoeuvre around, even though he's got full traction on. just so difficult to try and get through. And you can see J-Mo getting a warning there as he goes wide.
Maldi doesn't run full traction. He runs medium traction.
He does. If it's wet weather, so if it's wet qualifying, he'll go full traction.
Yeah,
and you can see. Yeah. I don't know though. It does seem like he is on. No, it looks like I should shut up. It looks like he has got medium traction on. But here's Max going into the first turn now. Can he get a manoeuvre? On cam just up ahead of him. He's getting closer and closer, but he's not close enough to look for a move. But Toman is on M-Yard here, going into the first turn. He backs out of it, does not want to have any squabble through that first turn. Sometimes it is quite difficult to go side by side through there. Now, the almost hits the backside of J-Mo here. He's got to be very careful how he manoeuvres around this. Right now, he doesn't really need to overtake J-Mo in front. Memo looking for a battle here with Mad Max. From the outside, he'll go. He was onto the grass, but he's still brave enough to go side by side. Goes very wide and lets the Alpha coming through here on the fifth turn. And that's a big mistake there from Memo.
Yep, maybe jump shot it a little bit, maybe a little bit too adventurous on the brakes. Just overshooting it a bit too much. Obviously going to really pinch himself into that right-hander. But Side Effects has pulled a nice gap, 1.5 seconds in just under 2 laps.
Well, Side Effects has been absolutely on it so far as Maldi goes wide into the sections. Penalties. If you don't get a penalty here, it's so cool. Pirillo, he's apparently got a penalty right now. But not getting penalties around the track like Mexico is so key and it's so important because you'll most likely have your opponents up ahead of you with time penalties, and if you don't get penalties yourself, of course, the penalties will actually matter and you will gain positions. But here we go, Maldi is going to potentially get a run down here on J-Mo, going onto this pit lane straight. It looks like J-Mo is actually pulling away from Maldi. Rafisa making a mistake on the last turn, meaning that he dropped down to last place. And that's going to be a VSC.
Also, yeah, it's a virtual. So Pirillo, then he's pirouetting out the last corner, broke his front wing, he's lost his front wing. He is a bit downforce short than what it's supposed to be. A bit unfortunate it's not a full safety car for him, but I'm sure he'll try and get it back to the pits. But yeah, I think Pirillo's race is already getting over, and just got to hope for a safety car maybe later on. But yeah, that is Pirillo obviously already well out of this group of cars. We'll see how it does. Maybe if anyone runs a little bit low on fuel, can save a bit of fuel if they need to, but it's a bit early on and we don't want to be saving fuel. But Memo, P4 for those mediums, so don't know if he needs to start Memo on those medium tyres, but he needs to find more places if he wants to take advantage of them.
Indeed, and also Maldi here. The result of the VSC, which I'm assuming is going to be right now, and due to everybody actually.
It's going to be some DRS as well. Not at the moment, obviously. But as soon as that, say if this car ends, you're going to get it. Oh, Toman's got a penalty.
Yilmaz will drop through, and it looks like Amjad's looking to go down the inside of Partal Yilmaz. Starbo's got the 2 men with drive-through penalties. Are they both going to serve this as they go into the pit lane right now? Amjad stays out.
They can do 3 laps before they have to pit. But yeah, they're taking it now. So I think the better is just get it outdone and out of the way. Toman's actually continuing, which is a bad choice. You want to get it done out of the way, get out of the traffic, and just start settings on that time. So the last thing you want to be doing when you've got a drive-through penalty is squabbling for places and you're just losing time. Get it in the pits, get in fresh air, and just do some laps, catch up. All you're doing is losing time when you could easily be in fresh air. And Pirillo's out, he's retired in the pit lane.
Well, there was just a bunch of drive-throughs dished around there as soon as we went green back in Mexico. And, well, I think it was Toman, MGels, and also Yilmaz who all got drive-through penalties. What a member with a big mistake there on the exit of, I believe that's turn 7. Going into the left-hander now, Maldi's going to get a free position, also J-Mo. So now the positions, the points are racking up and up and up increasingly now. Still though, Maldi right now is still a Tier 3 STB champion.
He's not issues.
Has he got?
He's just got no grip at all. Almost lost it there again. He's got 0 grip. I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. He's not comfortable whatever he's using at this moment in time. Tried to quickly there.
Well, J-Mo now, he could get a manoeuvre here on Mad Max. He's going to get that DRS going into the first turn. Looks like Maldi has a higher downforce setup than J-Mo. Looks like J-Mo just gains it on the straight, but on the exit of that last turn, and I should shut up because James is going to go side by side with the AlphaTauri. Mad Max just up ahead. Side by side through the first turn.
Ooh.
Mad Max gets a 3-second time penalty instantly as they went side by side for cutting a corner. And Gemma goes wide on the exit of turn 3. STB not here. He's just behind. He has to sit behind Mad Max here, but no longer. Going into the left hand now, goes down the inside there of the AlphaTauri, and he cuts the AlphaTauri off, and he gets the move done and dusted. And right now, JMO, whilst he is P3, Maldi in P4, he's still STB champion.
Yep, side effects. He's actually lost some time to Callum there. Callum's keeping side effects on his toes. That 1 point fastest gap has disappeared. Whether he gained some time, Callum, through the virtual safety card and picked up the DRS, which has probably helped him to keep it within that 1 second. Jamo's obviously just fallen back here a little bit. He's now struggling with SC Maldi and Mad Max, of course. Memo's, oh, he's hit the back of him! Mad Max has hit the back, Memo's hit the back of Mad Max. Mad Max has found himself almost in the barriers, but he's lost lots of time.
Well, Matt, I've got to mention this. DRS is going to be used by Maldi going on to JMO here into the first turn. He might get close enough to look for an overtake, or he might not want to look for the overtake at all because he's still champion right now. But look at the rundown. He's getting on JMO here. He's going to put it alongside with the Alpine. Will he look for the move? He will, and he gets it before the apex. That's absolutely massive, and he's also going to get the DRS here on the second straight. That is huge from Maldi.
Yep, Jamo
3-second time penalty! JMO 3-second time penalty! That is absolutely massive for Maldi now! That is huge! JMO on the 6th lap of 36 gets a 3-second time penalty! That greatly benefits STB Maldi.
Yep, Maldi, he got the move done, and obviously Jamo's really trying to keep up with him through that chicane. Obviously just push his luck a little bit too much, and obviously, like I say, a 3-second time penalty already on lap 6. I mean, if you go by the way technically he's going, you would have about 7 penalties by the end of this race. Obviously, on prime manager, but he can't afford to make any more warnings now if he wants any chance of getting back past Maldi for this race. But yeah, but Maldi had a great move. Jamo didn't have much battery to use to defend. So Maldi just pure DRS, no ERS and slipstream, was just enough to get past. And now he's got to defend from Jamo.
Well, now, here we go, onto the straight now, there's about 7 tenths between the two of them. I don't think Jimmy's going to catch up to Maldi on the straight. It's almost a second as they go on the straight there. Just that higher downforce working so much for Maldi on the exit of that last turn. And going into the first turn, they're going to be gapped at around 8 tenths, and including that time penalty, technically 3.7 tenths going into the first turn. So, 3.7 seconds going into the first turn. JMO, he's got to be very careful how he continues the rest of this Grand Prix. If he gets any more warnings, like you said, you can pretty much just say bye-bye to the championship.
Yeah, especially when you've really got to be ahead of Maldi. It's not something you want to be doing. It's so important to not get any penalty around here. I almost got away with no penalties around there on Monday, but stupid enough, I got one under a safety car, which I'm hoping it can get removed, but I really doubt it. But I say, if you can get no penalties, we've seen people with 9 seconds, 12 seconds, 6 seconds, and if you've got no penalties, and if there's a late safety car and you've got penalties, it really screws you over. So it's one of those things, you've got to hope, if you've got penalties, just hope you've got a big gap behind you, you're not going to get a safety car late on in the race, because that will ruin your race.
Well, you can just see up ahead here, Callum versus Side Effects. We haven't really mentioned it due to the championship battle between Maldi and Gemma, but considering Gemma won't catch up to Maldi going into the pit lane straight, we're going to focus on Callum here, going into the first turn, gaining and gaining and gaining on the Ferrari. Will he look for the move? He takes the inside lane, side by side between Callum and Side Effects for the lead here in the Mexico City GP. Side Effects losing position on track, but he'll get the better Rexing out turn 3. Callum makes a mistake on turn 3, but he's got the lower downforce setup, and he's able to pull away with that DRS as well. So, Side Effects actually losing position here to Callum.
Yep, Callum wanted to use the second part of the cherry with that DRS just to keep the position ahead. Which I'm not sure, it's one of those things where you're not sure if you want to have a DRS. It's one of those things where do you think should have another detection point going into that corner so the person behind can have another chance to regain it back. But at the same time, if they can make it move back into that place, it just seems a bit like stupid to have, it punishes you to overtaking one place just so you can get overtaken back. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this works out, whether Maldi can catch up to these guys and whether Gemma can keep up. We'll see what Maldi can do behind these guys. If you're going to be battling a lot, Maudi can catch up here, and like I say, a podium is all he needs, and that's where he is right now. In this position, Maudi will pick up a championship regardless of where Jamo finishes. So, Maudi currently is champion at this moment in time, but not actually fully. He's got one hand on it at the moment, but just needs to get the second one.
Well, he's been dreaming about this, hasn't he? He's been 10 years league racing, but he's never ever had even an opportunity at getting a championship. So one here tonight would absolutely fulfill his wishes. Yilmaz with a 120.411 for the Haskell, and he gets he gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, but only 9 laps in, of course. So we'll surely get a new flurry of, a new wave of lap times flashing in very soon. But side effects still looking for the overtake here on Callum. But like you said, no matter what happens right now, no matter where Jimmy finishes, Maudi's currently STB Tier 3 champion. Let's see what he can do.
Indeed, as obviously Cartel Yilmaz obviously picked up the fastest lap, but he's down in P13, so he's showing he's got pace, but obviously that driving penalties really hurt him. So he's got that pace, but the problem is, if he's that far back, you're never going to gain a lot of time in normal racing conditions. He needs to hope for a good safety car, does Yilmaz, if he wants to get back into this race. You just push your luck too much on the virtual safety car, and it'll punish you too much. As Rafita's just breezed past Juan. Oh no, he hasn't. He's backed out of it. I don't know why he's done that. He was already ahead going into that corner. I'm not sure why he broke early.
Well, on the exit of the last turn, he's going to have that DRS, but he's going to stop us over them, Joe, instead. Round the outside, MJ goes here, on the Haas car.
That has been hit by the Toman. These guys are much quicker than Rafita, and have just basically punched their way through.
There we go, Toman going to get the ERS. Look at the rundown he's going to get here on MJ going into the first turn. He's not going to get close enough to look for the move. Will MJ get close enough to look for the move on the Williams there, where he's not going to?
Just a little bit too far behind. As Yilmaz is also getting this as well, so you've got a mix of pace drivers here. You've got Toman and MJ normally towards the higher pace, and you've also got Rafita and Matador, sorry.
James gone round! James gone round! James gone round!
He's got his front wing!
Broke his front wing! Safety car's out on track! And James has spun! Broke his front wing! That is absolutely massive for the championship! Oh my!
That's definitely a race change now, and it's also ruined his strategy. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what's happening with the weather, if there is rain later on. So if it is rain, it might save him, but at the moment he has to go into the mediums. But the mediums won't get it to the, surely it won't make it that far in all fully racing conditions. So Jamo's got to hope for a miracle here, whether it's rain or another safety car at the moment.
Well, looks like Renault's also in a pit lane going for, I believe, the hard tyres. I'm not too sure.
He started on mediums, so he's made of his choice. Those tyres will get to the end.
The question is, what's Jamie going to go on? Because this is a very...
Yeah, he's got no choice. He's got to hope that either those tyres can somehow stretch the end, or he's got to hope there's, like I say, like weather change earlier on, so you've got a reason to get off the tyres, or there's another safety car so you can get another pit stop. But like I say, it's not too bad, because pretty much everyone else in front of him, apart from Memo, has to do another pit stop. So he's technically actually still in sync with everyone else. So he can
Jimmy's spun under the safety car. Sorry, but Jimmy's just spun under the safety car. If this does pan out for long enough, maybe Jimmy gets a reposition.
Or he's going to get a penalty if he does that, or he's looking to go away with that. I just saw him cut that corner. I thought he maybe would get a penalty for it. But he hasn't, so I was looking for him. And also when Matthew...
Oh, he spun again! He spun again! He just spun again.
More time under the safety car than he has in the actual thing. He's gone to AI mode, I think, because he's not moving. Okay, no, he's gone back off it now. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how you spin all this and you spin twice into the safety car. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I was going to say, Jamo came out of the pit lane, and Matador passed Jamo just as he exited the pit lane, and then got a legal overtake, and obviously realised he's got the legal overtake and slammed on the brakes. Because obviously the white line just finished as Matador went past Jamo, but obviously the legal overtake kicked in. So, Matador didn't quite get that.
Jamo's 3-second tyre penalty was being out of the points. Baldi inside the podium with no penalties next to his name. Right now, Melody is living in dreamland, and the more and more this safety car goes on, the more and more he can. Jimmy's just retired. The more and more he can breathe a sigh of relief in the fact that right now he is currently STB Tier 3 champion by a long shot.
I don't know what's going on here, but Toman, it's just hit M-Gelled. I don't even admit, I don't even know who it was to me. I thought it was Yilmaz. It's just hit the back of someone and they've just gone off the track. M-Gelled, Toman, and whoever it was in the middle of those two just got punted off. They were really backed up, but for some reason they weren't slowing down. They were just tapping the back of each other. Somebody went round. I'm not sure whether it was Yilmaz. I think it might have been Yilmaz that span around there. He's in the middle of them. I'm not sure how that worked out. I've got it on the stream, but I don't know what situation just happened there. It was weird.
Well, we saw this in Japan. Sorry, but in Japan, we saw Mardy in the podium looking fine, whilst Gamer had some time penalties and was out of the points. He's not out of the points now due to pit stops, but it's in the kind of same predicament. And we saw Maldi getting spun again after again in Japan as well. So the question is a flashback of Japan going to occur? Are we going to see Maldi getting spun, taking out lap after lap after lap? And if it does happen, does that mean that the championship goes on to Brazil?
You got to see, but and Maldi got spammed. I think it was a bit further down the grid, so I'm not sure whether that's different or not. But we'll see. But I'm not sure. I can't rely on that. I'm sure that was just a one-off sort of thing, because Japan's quite a technical track. Especially, it's quite easy to do guys to think you're going to make battles around there, especially through the high-speed corners. You're going to make a collision at some point if you're going to keep doing that. As it is, you're going to tangle with those high-speed flowing corners. But yeah, I'm sure Mexico with a track like this, a bit more simple, a bit more straight-lined. I'm sure Mardy will be fine. Just got to not let the pressure get to him.
Well, of course he'll be choosing this like the last race of the season, because that's what he said in not in commentary, but says to me in the party, silent or just pistol that I treat every race like it's the last race of the season, because if I mess up now, there's going to be a price to pay, and that price I cannot live up to. So Maldi right here, he's going to be really, he's going to be harsh on himself if he spins, but if he doesn't, he's going to be laser focused on trying to get this this championship across the line here in Mexico.
Yeah, but you're interested to see how Side Effects fights with him as well, whether they're going to just treat it like they've always done and always just fight it out. Obviously, these guys, obviously Side Effects still wants to gain some positions in the championship because he is up there. Not quite as ahead as Jamo Side Effects, Jamo, but obviously Side Effects and Yilmaz, I think, are on the same amount of points at the moment, so I think Side Effects will still want to get some points to get ahead of Yilmaz, but Yilmaz is currently down in P9, so Side Effects might get P3 in the championship if he can pull away from him. He could even catch up Jamo and pick up P2 and be a Ferrari 1-2, but we will see when that happens in Brazil.
Well, here we go. Calvin, restart the safety car is now. He'll come around the last turn, when he's going to go full throttle, and will Side Effects read it?
Come.
He's gone! And it seems like at the exact same time, Side Effects also went full throttle as well. So I do believe that was a decent restart there from Side Effects. And Cameron going into the first turn, he's still going to get around 5 tenths or so going into that first turn. Maldi setting up his ERS right now, he's got 76% ERS. Jeremy getting very close to Yilmaz here going into the first turn. He's going to hit the backside of him, he's going to look for that outside lane on Yilmaz, but he's not going to get the grip needed to get the overtake. He's looking for a switch back now on Yilmaz, using his ERS, trying to get closer and closer to the Haskell. And Mjo's falling down the order. He's spun once more in an STB Grand Prix. He's absolutely falling down the order. JMO down the inside he goes on Yilmaz here, now round the outside in the fifth turn of the circuit. He's been spun! There's been contact between Yilmaz and also J-Mo! That is absolutely huge for the championship yet again! Oh my, oh my!
Oh, it's Alvatari. Mad Max was span. He's span. I'm getting more PTSD today. I already got a load of PTSD from yesterday, but he's just span through that first chicane of the S section, and he's now down to P12. So that bridge has opened up a place. But yeah, Jammer, he just seemed to just cut in on him. He didn't just seem to turn in on him. He was still there. And Melody for time penalty.
Time penalty. Oh, well, yeah. Still, nevertheless, he is still the STB champion. Doesn't really necessarily hurt where he is right now. Remember's going to get an overtake here on Lotto onto the straight. Easy peasy. Just how you'd like it. But Lotto might go back at him here, the Mercedes. Going into the first turn. Now look at the pace. Look at the rundown. But that slipstream gifts. Lotto round the outside. A look to go of the Mercedes going into the first turn. Now into the second. Maybe a little bit of contact between the two of them. No, Lotto actually backs out of it.
Yeah, Maro seems to have the extra grip. He's on 10 at
Jemo spun! I think that's Rafita ahead of him! Jemo spins! Rafita ahead of him! He made contact with somebody as well. Does that mean he's got wing damage? He's done an absolute mare over he's up the safety car. He's not got wing damage, luckily. But he spun Rafita. That might be a time penalty from the end of the Grand Prix. That's huge.
Yeah, maybe
there's another spin! There's another spin!
What is going on?
What is going on? That's massive. He's gone round. He got absolutely fucked from the side. What is going on?
There's lots of unnecessary contact being made at the moment. Obviously, I never like to say this, but obviously, like I say, naturally, this is tier 3. So, racing's not going to be as clean. It's more like the ability of the drivers. Obviously, not going to be as good. But obviously, these drivers still do their best as possible. But it's lots of unnecessary contact, even for tier 3. It shouldn't be in these little niggles. Shouldn't be necessary at this moment in time. Seems a lot of very, very, very amateur mistakes. There's a car in the pit lane. Man Max in the pits.
Oh, Man Max was in the pits. I'm
damage.
Sure that's for wing damage. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Yeah, it's too early for the hard runners to pit.
But Gemmo versus
no,
One
no,
here. Sorry,
it's not. He's just pitted early.
Alright. Well, Gemmo's going to go down the inside of the one here into the first turn. He's going to take that outside lane into the second. Contact between the two of them. Yeah. What is going on with Gemmo?
He was not fully alongside there, but he thought he had the tyres. But like I say, he was not alongside. He just steamed it up the inside there. You can't do that. You can't just, because it's a chicane. The gap's going to close. He's got the line. He has the corner. You can't just stick up the inside and expect him to just turn out of the corner. He's going to take the corner. He's just going to cut you off because he has the right to do that. He has the right to take the normal line. And yep, so Jamo still stuck behind Juan, and especially on those mediums, he's going to hurt in a lot of lap time.
What? I mean, Jamo he's just not had a good race, and this is exactly the complete opposite of what he wanted. He's going to get run down here on one though, and he's going to be side by side with Juan here. Jamo's going to get the overtake on Juan, then going into that right hand of that second DRS zone, I think? Third DRS zone of the track, yeah. And Jamo's up into P8. Won't necessarily count unless Juan gets a time penalty himself. But Maldi, he's got a time penalty as well. Also, speaking of time penalties, Jamo has got 3 warnings on the dot, and he's very close to getting another time penalty here.
Yeah, he's going to keep himself on his toes. As Lotto's doing a bit of a track stand there out of turn 3. Trying to follow him through. But yeah, it should be see how this goes. Like I say, I saw Toman drifting earlier through this sector. A bit like in Monza, he was basically sliding through a Ascari every single time. But I'm not sure he set up very on the stable side. Toman seems to really like these pointy setups, and Jamon's really getting held by Lotto at the moment. But Lotto doesn't have the pace of these more faster drivers, it seems, and Chairman's not enjoying being behind him. Side effects makes a time penalty.
Well, that makes that Maldi versus side effects battle legal, technically. Not like it would be illegal in the first place, but you know what I mean. And now those two Ferraris both having time penalties. These two Alpine's having 2 time penalties. Looks like there's a little bit of parallel between those two in terms of the mistakes they're making. But in terms of their track position, they're high flying Ferraris, aren't they?
Making a move on Lotto. He's got the move done before he even needs to open a DRS. DRS is just going to help him now, but he hasn't got the DRS though. Lotto has battery.
Well, Tobin here, he's still going to get a better run down into turn 1. Round the outside, the Williams will look to go here of Tobin into the second turn now. He's going back out of it.
Yeah, he knew to get cut off there. Tobin just carrying more speed, he's got the outside line. Tobin obviously, like I say, he was almost down, he's got no battery left at all, so he was, even with the DRS, he was struggling to actually get the move done down the straight, despite having, the straight, and that's Rafita, he's round again.
No, it's not
go
that.
to.
MGL has big contact with him, with Rafita through those 3 turns. I just saw that in the corner of my eye, just on the screen, saw position changes that were rapid, and it seemed like MGL made contact with Rafita into the second turn and almost made him go round. Very tricky here. This Mexico GP. I mean, you have this track is pretty much not infamous for time penalties, but it is a track that is definitely difficult to keep your car in between the white lines, and we're seeing it take a toll here on our best drivers here in Tier 3.
Going for an early stop. Well, also, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing less penalties
Yeah,
today
Maldi
than
was
until yesterday.
Maldi was telling me this a bit ago. He told me, you know, I don't know why, because he commentated on Tier 1, of course, I was commentating with him, and he kept on telling me in comms, oh, Pistol, the undercut here in Mexico is very, very, very effective. So that's what he's going to be looking for. He's going to be looking for this undercut. He believes it's going to work out, and I have no reason to think that it won't.
Yeah, he's got some DRS as well on out the pit lane, so he's going to have a little bit of time to gain with the DRS down into turn 4 as well. So he's got a bit of DRS to help with that undercut. They give him a couple extra tenths for sure. Where you need to buy, he warms those tyres up. Sapex is, I guess you could say, stuck behind Callum, but I wouldn't say necessarily that is the case. But Yilmaz is now the next person to try and get past Lotto. Lotto is now almost 2 seconds down on Toman, so you can obviously see that Toman has the pace over him. Memo's in quite a good position right now, because Memo can go to the end right now, and he's currently in P3, and he doesn't need to pit again. So let me just see how that works out, and see how Memo's tyres hold on towards the end.
MJ's going to be all over the back of the Williams driver. Oh my god, that's massive contact! That is absolutely massive contact between the two of them! And they both slam straight into the wall. And Jamo's got 3 times. Jamo's got an absolutely free and lucky pit stop here.
Maldi's going to be absolutely fuming in that cockpit right now. He's not going to lose or gain any places, but he's lost that undercut that he was so randomly relying on. So, yeah, Maldi's undercut has just been stripped and ruined. But like I say, he won't lose or gain any places, but I don't know. Unfortunately,
I think if I'm Maldi right now, I'm still loving this, because you've got Swellfx ahead of you. Swellfx needs to win to actually, you know, carry this on to to Brazil, and then Maldi would have to not be in the points. But he's also ahead of JMO. He's like 3 positions ahead of JMO. They've both got time penalties. JMO's on the edge of getting another time penalty. So if I'm Maldi right now, whilst I'm not loving the track position, in terms of the situation I'm in right now, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, especially when now down a little bit further down the grid as I normally would. Like I say, we've still got Yilmaz, Lotto, Toman to pit. These guys will definitely pit now. Safety car's still waiting for them. In the box they go, as predicted. Like I say, these guys will still get their 3 pits up anyway, because obviously they were ahead of the safety car when the safety car came out. If it's worse than the safety car coming out just as you cross the pit lane and everyone else behind you can pit, that's a proper bummer that is, because you can't get ahead of the safety car. You instantly just get bunched up before you even make your pit stop. Memo obviously stays out. He's gone for track position, but I'm surprised he didn't actually make a pit stop now, because he's now, yes, he's got track position, but now he's now on the much slower tyres compared to everyone else. And to be honest, this safety car has really hurt Memo, because he's lost that free pit stop that he had earlier on, and it's completely cancelled it out. So Memo's strategy has just been ruined. Still no sign of any rain yet, so whether that's actually rain predicted, I don't know, but for now, nothing's here.
Well, I'm assuming because people are peeling into the pit lane like this, if there is rain later on, I would assume, or if it was like the next 5 laps or so, I would assume people would just go on, you know, their soft tyres and just burn them out, get onto the intermediates, boom. But because people are just continuing their strategy, it's either the rain will come literally last lap, or a couple of laps before, or it's just going to be dry till the end.
I mean, like a bit of rain, I think it will spice things up for sure, especially with this championship. But like I say, maybe sometimes you just don't want the rain because the rain can sometimes kill the racing as well. Depends how everyone drives. But we'll see. But it is one of those situations. But we'll have to see as championship. Obviously, Maudi's now up into P2 after those pit stops. Jamo's still P10, so Jamo did not get ahead of those guys that pitted. Saying that, Matador's in. I think, yeah, he's on 8-lap old mediums, so that's understandable. That is. He's probably going to come in for another set of mediums. I'm sure he's got another set.
Well, this safety car will last out for a couple more laps or so, and keeping this in mind, still Maldi's P4. It's not going to be too dreadful for Maldi. I don't think he's looking at this and he's raging at the bit. He's shaking his fist up to the F1 gods. I feel like he's right now. He should be content with it, but we all know Maldi. He can get a bit frustrated sometimes. Yeah, a bit affected in his words.
Yeah, he doesn't like when things don't go his way. He's very easy. Well, you could say affected by it, but I say if I was Maldi right now, you just be thinking now, right? If I stay in this position, I've won the championship. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all Maldi really cares about now. He knows he can win this race. He knows he can. If he just knows if he can just get that position that can secure him that championship, I don't think he'll really care where he finishes. So, I mean, everyone could DNF and that'll be it. Maldi could win the championship. Maldi might be out and fuming, but at the same time, he'd be elated. He's just won the championship. But that'll be very interesting to way to finish it. But everyone retiring in the championship battle and still winning it. A bit like Michael Schumacher, was it in 1995, was it? Or something like that.
Members retired for the section. Members out of the Grand Prix.
What? He's on. It says he's on 9-lap old hards. I swear he pitted for new mediums. Unless that, I was thinking, I was Matt, wasn't it? Oh no, Matt. Actually, no, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. What happened? He was leading the race.
I don't even know. It's like just disappeared from the track. The referee stop the safety car is now awful start there.
Oh god, he's out. Fucking hell, I didn't see that.
Diesel gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Maldi looking for the move here. On Scott effects. This is really massive for Maldi, obviously, because he's got the championship in his hands right now.
And Maldi's got steam at the inside. Honest contact.
Maldi's been dropped out of position.
And Sidetracks has to cut the chicane. And Toman's got 2-in-1. The Ferraris are doing a Ferrari and absolutely bossing with it. What do you think this is? Brazil 2019?
Well, here comes side effects on Toman, and no map, it's Mexico 2023. We're on the outside, side effects goes on Toman, now the inside lane into turn 5. Into the double apex now between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri. It looks like down the inside, Maldi could look to go, but it's too risky, and he stays behind for now. Yes, again, if I'm Maldi, I'm still loving this, because I'm still the championship right now.
And he's gone! Sidetracks is out! I just seen him! He's just spat into the barriers! And there's surely that'll be another safety car. If not, it's a bit surprised. He's just seen him, there you go, safety car's out. I just seen that in the corner of my eye. I saw the Ferrari spilling into the barriers. I was like, shit, is that Maldi or was that Side Effects? And I saw Side Effects there and go blank, and that was it. Side Effects out. That was a really surprising caught. It was a really weird place he span it, and where he hit the barriers, but his wheels been ripped off. And with reduced damage, that must have been a hefty impact. And now that's another safety car. And can you just say, Dieter's gone to intermediates. Is that information that tells us it is getting more cloudy? Is there going to be rain on the way?
I'm assuming it must be like the final 5 laps or something for that rain to come. But it won't really matter. In terms of side effects, it won't necessarily matter for Maldi. Right now, in terms of the championship, in constructors, it doesn't matter because they've already got that wrapped up. They did it in Monza. Maldi right now, he's absolutely loving this. He's P3. He's got the championship in his bloody hands. He's got his one of his championship rivals, Side Effects, out of the race. He's only got that nifty JMO to try and beat out. He's got to beat him out by 30 points. He does not need to worry about anything else in this Grand Prix now. All he is needs to be laser focused on is just finishing either one place ahead or one place behind JMO. And right now, he is 3 places ahead of JMO. So far, Maldi is champion.
Yeah, like I say, Side Effects out. That's one championship rival less to worry about. And just one general rival he has to worry about now. It's just Jamo now behind him. Oh, he's actually got 2 championship rivals, just a couple of places behind him, Yilmaz and Jamo. But at this moment in time, I say Maldi. He's currently is champion. Like I just, but Yilmaz needs to outscore Maldi by at least 23 points. Basically, Yilmaz needs to win this race, and Maldi to only get P10 if he wants to get the championship to the next, obviously to the next race. But Jamo, it's still not enough. Jamo needs to be at least, actually needs to score Maldi by 13 points. And at the moment, Maldi has still got this in the bag. Maldi just needs to keep it on the track. Diesel back onto some medium, sorry. I just thought maybe we've gone to intermediate, so I'm not sure why. But yeah, Diesel's back onto a set of slick tyres. Big question why he did that. But yeah.
Well, if you take a look at the time penalties, all the warnings on Race Director, you go on GMO, you view the lap times, and you've got 3 warnings right now for GMO locked and loaded. Technically 4 if you count lap 6, where it's a penalty and a warning. So, he is literally, he's got one toe, he's got literally his entire body weight off of a cliff, and it's only one single toenail that's keeping him on from not getting another time penalty. So, that was a very weird comparison there, but nevertheless.
Yeah, I'm sure to see where toenails come into time penalties.
Toenails, time penalties, right, kind of alliteration, who cares? JMO, currently right now, he's very close to getting another time penalty. Maldi, he's got one time penalty, but he doesn't really need to worry about that because he's still ahead of JMO, for God's sake. He's taking a look at Maldi's time penalties or warnings, whatever. I'll take him a look at him right now. No warnings whatsoever for him. After he had that time penalty on lap 14, I believe it was. It is, yes, it is. So, Maldi right now.
Safety car being slapped. There you go. With
the safety car coming in and snap, Maldi he doesn't even need to overtake. Just keep your position. Don't overtake Toman. Don't get overtaken by Lotto. Done and dusted. Championship over. But there we go. Restart of the safety car is underway. The helmet makes him once more. Miles per hour. Will he go full throttle? Out. He will! He will! He's following him off the restart. Can he get a run down into turn 1? Look at Maldi as well. Don't make it 3-1. Maldi, you've got to back out a bit if it's 3-1. Don't make it 3-1. Don't make it 3-1. Maldi's going to get past 7. He's going to get a 2-for-1. Down the inside he goes of Callum as well. He's looking for a 2-for-1 meal to like it's in Tesco, for God's sake. Round the outside he goes. On the Red Bull now. Down the inside he goes on the Red Bull. He's got the overtake. Callum 3-second time penalty as well. That's also huge. He's trying to get P1. But Callum's going to come straight back out. Maldi is going to take that outside lane. Maldi back out of it. You don't need to overtake. You don't need to battle anybody in this Grand Prix. Takes the right hand back. He's still got P1 at the moment. Very surprising as right off the restart, Maldi takes P1.
I wonder if Callum can get that penalty removed because he did get pushed off there, I think, by Maldi. I think if he can avoid getting another warning, he can probably get it removed, get his race director recorded. So this is not out of the way yet. Maldi's win is still not secure for sure.
I mean, Toman right now is champion.
Right.
So
yeah, but that was very ambitious by Maldi, especially in situations in that could have easily gone wrong for the chairman / championship leader.
Yeah, you don't want to be going for that when you're in a position that Maldi is. Right now, if Callum's going to get the overtake on me down on the straight, I just let him go by. I let him go by, say bye-bye, you can take your first place back, I don't give a shit. I just need to finish above J-Mo. Lotto and J-Mo, they're going to go side by side, going into the first turn now. Williams versus Alpine, going into the first turn. What's going to happen? Is Jimmy going to get the overtake before the apex? He does, and the Williams stays behind. Callum looking for another squabble here with Maldi. Can he get it going down into the... Another penalty for J-Mo! Huge moment! Now the Grand Prix once more! And J-Mo with another time penalty in the Mexico City Grand Prix. Maldi, play it safe for God's sake.
It's surely in the bag now. The only thing that can stop Maldi now is him going into the barriers. That's the only thing that can stop Maldi, is himself. And let's hope that doesn't come to his set to the absolute brim. But we'll see how that runs out. Toman obviously following behind still hasn't got any penalties, so if Toman can win this race, if those penalties stand as it is, Yilmaz is also right behind him, so Maldi's got these 2 championship rivals right behind him, in between Callum, just behind Callum. So it's going to be, pressure is on.
Can Maudi do it? Can he get his championship? Find out next week. Callum's also, that time penalty, like you said, it might get removed. They just pushed him off track. Should get removed as well, in my eyes. The no fight for that time of the Grand Prix so far, but I don't think it really matter for him personally. I mean, if he gets a single point, it doesn't really care, but it doesn't matter. Maudi right now is champion. Who cares?
Yep. And also looking on the battery side, Maudi's got 46%, Callum 8%. Choman was running on 0 at the end of that straight, but Yilmaz does have plenty of batteries to use, so Callum and Choman, the two people behind him, are not going to be able to remove because they just don't have the battery. If they get DRS, Maudi can just press that magical button and it will keep him ahead for a couple more laps. But obviously at some point Maudi will try and find a way to try and pull away. But for now, Maudi's got some batteries to play with. So has Yilmaz. Maybe Yilmaz can probably pick off Toman, surprise him with a lot of overtake that he just has available to. Oh, never mind. Toman's in the barriers. Next person now. Exactly what Side Effects did. And now that puts another safety car out. Maudi's going to be in this situation now. Do they pit for soft tyres? Is there anyone going to pit for softs and try and take advantage of this? Because it's now that sort of area where the soft tyres can go to the end. Is anyone going to make that risk? Is Yilmaz going to do it?
Jomo's definitely going to do it. Jomo, he's 1,000% going to appeal onto the pit right now. Go onto these soft tyres.
Maudi's in.
No, Maudi's...
Oh my god, I don't know if you can allow to do that. I mean, if you go back to Germany 2019, Lewis Hamilton did it. You can go into the pit lane, enter and then come back off. You can't go out of the pit. You can't be out of the pit lane and jump in late into the pits. That's what you're not allowed. I think you can get away with that, but I think that'll have to be a reprimand maybe, because you can't just do that and then cut them off last seconds. That was ultimate cheekiness. But for sure, that definitely stopped them from pitting for softs, didn't it? I think they were hoping Maudi would pit and then he would get stuck in traffic. But now that Maudi's done that, that's a bit too much. I think you left it a bit too late.
I feel like Maudi won't get a time penalty for that because, I mean, sure, in terms of, I mean, if something has to count for it to be a time penalty, I feel like it has to be you absolutely ruining someone's race. Or just like if you push them off track or something. I don't think Callum would have pitted anyways. No matter if Maudi went into the pit lane or not. If Callum really wanted to pit, he would have pitted. No doubt in my mind. If Yilmaz wanted to pit, he would have pitted. I feel like, nevertheless, Maudi would just did something unnecessary that he thought was cheeky. I don't think he should get penalised for it in my eyes. But I'm not FIA, am I?
If you compare sort of the only real thing I can think about impression in real life is, like I say, it's Lewis Hamilton back in Germany 2019. I think it was 2019. Was it 20? I'm not sure actually. It might be 2018 actually. No, I think it was 2018. 2019 is when the Mercedes obviously bottled it, didn't they? It was 2018, I think.
What is Maudi doing? Is he doing it again?
He's actually going to the pits. Maudi's going for a very risky move here, and he's going for the pit stop onto soft tyres. That is an interesting strategy. He's going to put him dead last as well. He's going to put him behind Fafita and Juan. Maudi should have really done it the first time, because he would have been ahead of Fafita and Juan if he pitted the lap before. Because he's pitted a lap later behind the safety car, Fafita and Juan have now been able to get ahead of Maudi. So Maudi's now got to try and find a way to overtake two other soft runners. Maudi's made his life a bit more difficult for himself. He's got to overtake 8 cars, and he's got the penalties to worry about as well. Because at the moment now, Jamo is currently, well, actually, Jamo's not currently P3, he's got 2 penalties, isn't he? But Yilmaz, I mean, at this moment in time, Maudi is still champion.
Yeah,
I
mean,
if he do, whatever he does, he's still going to win it anyway, I think. But
I don't think it's necessary.
Yilmaz hasn't got any penalties. Callum does, and if Callum does have that penalty, it sticks with him, and if Yilmaz wins this race, and Maudi, say for some reason, still stays P9, and if Yilmaz with that fastest lap, Yilmaz could take this to Brazil with only 1 point for buffer. That's the only thing I think of, because Yilmaz's got the fastest lap right now, but maybe Maudi might beat that with the soft tyres, but safety car's in.
You're right, Mafia. Right now, Yilmaz is taking this over to Brazil. This is an awful decision from Maldi. Just check the leaderboard, the standings. 55 points between Yilmaz and Maldi. He'll get 25 or 26 points off of this. Gets it down to 29 points going into Brazil. This has been a huge mistake from Maldi. Why is he going for these softs? I will never know. But there you go, folks. Restart the safety car. It's a go, it's a go, it's a go. So Canada now, restart the safety car is underway for him. Yilmaz there in P2. Gemma looking to get right down here on Yilmaz, going in for the first turn. Will there be contact between them? Mandy's got the position here to one.
He's on the grass.
One. What is he doing?
He's saving his battery, I think. He's saving his battery for later on. I think that's what he's doing. Oh, and it's awfully close to Jammo and Yilmaz. Yilmaz holds the position for now. But Yilmaz at the moment, he's losing a lot of time to Callum. He needs to keep it within 3 seconds. If there's any chance. Oh, the McLaren's off. It's MGL. He's crashed again. I think he's just purposely damaged his front wing there.
I'm going to go down the inside here on Diesel. That's not going to cause another safety car. We've got 5 laps left. I don't think it's going to cause another one. I feel like it's fine.
3 yet on Monday, so we'll go to hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's tricky again. I feel like there's no time penalty. Oh, Jesus Christ, Valerie. Why have you gone for these softs?
He's put himself in a very sticky situation. Talk about sticky situation. His tyres are going to be very sticky compared to a majority of the rest of the cars here. But he's still got Rafita to navigate first on those softs. As Matador's ruined. Oh, he's hit the back of him!
Oh, he's hit straight to the back of Rafita.
Oh, that might be. I don't know about that. Maldi should literally stay behind him. Because now Maldi's going to risk getting the penalty. If Rafita reports that, Maldi should have stayed behind him and just guaranteed he's not going to pick a penalty. Now Maldi's going to pass Matador. Matador's using all his battery. Maldi's opting not to do it. Maldi wants to save it. He knows he's got better pace than Matador anyway. He just get him into the braking zone. Matador's just drained all his battery by doing that.
Don't go for it, don't go for it, man. Don't go for it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's going to do a switchback move here. Matador's got no battery left. And he's really been hurt here. But yeah, Matador's got no battery left. Maldi's going to use the rest of his. Yeah, Maldi's played up very, very smartly there.
He got Rafita. He's meant to be able to come Maldi. Backs out of it. He just wants to go slow with Matador instead. He gets the overtake.
I don't like what Amgel's doing right now. Luckily, Ghosting's on, so they'll be able to go flying through him anyway. Gone to Ghost. Yeah, he's ghosted, so it's all very nice for them. He can breeze through. But Maldi, next one to get is Lotto. With 4 laps to go at the end by the across the line. I'm sure Maldi can still pick it up back into P3. I'm sure he can still do that.
Right now, Maldi's champion. Right now in P5. Currently still champion, just to the maths. With Yilmaz. Right now, he is champion despite the fastest lap. He will be champion. Because Yilmaz, you've got to take in the fact that how much points
Maldi's got fast
right
laps
now.
as well. So that's an extra point for Maldi.
Wait, hold on, no, I'm lying. Maldi is not champion right now. Unless he can get
Jammo's got to outscore Maldi by 13 points. He's not outscoring him by 13 points.
Oh my Jesus, Maldi, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, what on earth did he just do to Lotto? I mean, you didn't see on stream, I literally just screamed down my microphone. But Maldi was literally a centimetre away from slamming straight into the back of him. Don't know what the hell Maldi's doing here. I don't know what he's thinking of doing. But this is not it, Maldi. Like, don't know what you're doing, mate. But what you're doing is it.
Like I say, with that collision with Rafita as well, if they all get reported, he might be picking up good, maybe 10 seconds of penalties if he's not careful with a couple of incidences. So if they are classed as minor incidences and getting 5-second time penalties, that's 10 seconds plus his 3 seconds he's already got already. It could put him down to dead last, and it could lose him the chance of getting the championship for this race. This championship might be decided in a couple of laps, in a few laps time, maybe until about Saturday when we get the stewarding done. So the championship's not over until maybe going towards Brazil. We've got to see until we get the stewards looking into those instances. But for sure, Maldi can get to be the provisional championship winner, I think.
Well, Yilmaz right now, P2, 18 points of course. Minus that by Maldi's 12, that's going to be only 6 points in the game from this Grand Prix. Definitely not enough to get through into Brazil. Maldi, he's not going to fall down any positions because it's a 3-second gap between Rafita and Lotto. Rafita plus Lotto. It's over a 3-second gap, so he's not going to move down any positions. He's going to move up one position because of game mode. Right now, he's still champion, but like you said, potentially only provisional champion because of this own course of time penalties near the end.
Yeah, it's going to be an awkward interview when he does pick up a podium in it, for sure. We'll see how it goes. Well, actually, Jamo's got 6 seconds of penalties, isn't he? So Muddy currently is on the podium. So we'll see how this all runs out. Not quite 3 seconds ahead of Yilmaz yet. So, but at the moment, Yilmaz is still winning this race, but it won't be enough. You need Jamo to be realistically winning this race. But Jamo, he's behind him, and Marley's about to make a move on him. Oh,
here we go, down the inside, into the first turn there, the Ferrari, into the first turn, between Jamo and Maldi.
Oh, so does Jamo, never mind. They both pick up penalties, so it just cancel each other out.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, does it? Because 6-second time penalty.
What?
Lotto and Fita still goes up my side. I don't know.
Yeah,
To be honest, I don't
Fita's
know
got
anymore.
pace to keep up, I don't think. Oh, it's a very ambitious move there by Lotto. It might have been a bit of touchy-touchies there, going through there. But Lotto has to concede the position. Has to, looking for concede. But Mario up to P3 now. Yeah, he's got the gap to Fita, so he is currently in P3. Like I say, I won't say he is champion, but I can't guarantee it with any penalties he might pick up, especially with that 6 seconds now. We need to wait for the stewards because he has had a couple of collisions that could be investigated. We don't know. If not, it'll be confirmed. But I wish I could just say he is the champion, but I don't want to say he is champion and he ends up not being champion going to the next race, if you know what I mean. But I don't want to go provisional and then end up not getting a penalty at all and end up, yeah, it's got being champion. But he's going for another move now on Yilmaz.
Down the inside, it'll go on the
Last
part
lap
of
of the
hand Yilmaz into the first turn, and he's got the overtake. But Maldi, I mean, kind of flicked us on into the 36th lap out of 36. And STB Maldi, whilst he has had much controversy in this Grand Prix so far, if he is to be P2 at the end of this, he will be classified as provisional champion. Maldi has had 10 years of racing experience and 10 grueling years of racing experience where he's not had any glimmer of chances to get a championship in his whole reign of becoming a driver for different leagues. But now, in Tier 3, for his own league, he's had this one little slice, this one little vision that he can finally get this championship here in his own league in Tier 3. He has been the owner, the chairman of STB for 9 years straight. He's never won a championship until now. Round the last turn, Maldi, champion of the world.
Wow.
But will he be after the steward report? That's the question.
Yeah, that is one thing. For now, he is champion. Maldi is your Tier 3 STB champion here for Mexico Grand Prix. It's obviously not his third win at Mexico, but he is still on the podium again. Like I said, we might need to wait a couple of days to see if there's any reports get picked up by Rafita and by, I think it was Lotto. We'll see if they put any instant reports in. But right now, Maldi is your Tier 3 champion, but is any issue reports going to hurt him? And if they are going to be reports, is he going to pick up penalties for them? That's the question. But for now, Maldi is your Tier 3 world champion. Season 22. 22 seasons of grueling racing. 22 seasons, 10 years. I mean, I know Maldi doesn't do many other leagues, so he doesn't really have much chances anywhere else outside of STB, but 10 years... It might be just Tier 3, but I'm sure this means a lot for Maldi.
Well, we'll get him in the interview, and we'll see what he has to say about this, because he will be very happy. He is currently the champion, but in terms of time penalties, who knows what happens. Maldi, we're going to invite him to the party. To be or not to be, that's the question. We're going to also invite, of course, Cam to the party as well, as he also picks up the nice little bit of P2. And that's going to be it
Before we do all
for
this,
our interviews.
we're going to quickly get down through the rundown of the grid. Okay, I'm just give it a second. We're going to run down the grid here before the timer decides to kick us in the face. Yilmaz P1 for the race. He picks up another race victory. Last time he won the race was back in Monza. Callum P2 in the end. Obviously, that penalty didn't quite get ahead enough by Yilmaz. Maldi is your Tier 3 world champion. And it's an absolute very, very emotional one, I'm sure. Like I say, we've still got a couple of little niggles whether it is going to be any incident reports with a couple of collisions. But I'm sure Maldi will pick up that championship. It is, well, fully deserved in the end, regardless. Rafita P4, Jammer P5, Commissador P6, Juan P7, Lotta P8, Labizas P9, Jamgel P10, and Dines were actually memgelled and down. I couldn't actually get it out because I was too busy rambling on about STB and Maldi. Anyway, that is your race, and, well, I don't think it was actually the best race. But it was there was still lots of action, but it wasn't I think the most absolute thrilling race in the world, to be honest, personally, from my point of view. But firstly, got interviews on Pistol, and, well, you want to get off with Callum first for a couple of questions. I'm going to start with Maldi, and then I think I'll let you end it off with Maldi at the end as well.
Callum, Peter, at the end of the day, you're a P1 for most of that Grand Prix. Anything to mention about that Grand Prix tonight?
Well, I mean, I did a lot better in terms of penalties because in Tier 2 I got lots. Obviously, I felt very comfortable in the lead when I was going to have the side effects. But the penalty was... I mean, I'm not fighting for anything in Tier 3. I was having a bit of fun, really. So, I mean, I'm just happy with the result there.
Thank you very much, Callum, for taking some of your day to do this interview. But now over to currently our champion here in Tier 3. But after the steward reports, will it be a different story? Matthew?
Yeah.
Matthew.
I suggest you, Maldi. You are obviously the Tier 3 now, the Tier 3 world champion for STB Season 22 for the Tier 3. How would you feel with that race? Obviously, the race wasn't simple. You decided to take a risk on those soft tyres. Especially with those penalties as well. You took a lot of risk there. We had a bit of collisions towards the end with Lotto and Rafita. So I was only reason why we were a bit slow, a bit funny whether there's going to be any student reports. Obviously, I'm sure you're still going to win in the bag regardless anyway. But that is still something to think about. But Maldi, just do your run through and how are you feeling after that race? Speechless is the way to go.
I am absolutely... grandissimo, phenomenal. Basically, I was a bit of a dickhead coming into the pit lane. I wanted to try and do a little dummy move into the pit lane, and I thought, no, do you know what, that is actually the wrong thing to do. So I wanted to go onto the softs anyway. It's a bit of remorse for that stupid. I should have just went I should have done a different line, but yeah. I came through, I was able to get the gap, apparently I had a collision with JMO. I got a penalty for couldn't have got him anyway, so that's lost me time. But to get the championship at the 9-year anniversary and the 10th year of me league racing, it's a great moment. Yes, it's Tier 3, but obviously you can only race with the drivers that are of your pace and your level. So it's been a great season. Yilmaz has been a great driver as well. He won. Congratulations to him. Well done to JMO. And well done to Side Effects. Great qualifier this season. It's been an absolute pleasure. But next week, there is no messing around. I am here for my second win. I'm here to win in Sao Paulo. I'm here to win. So any sort of inkling from anyone that they're going to beat me next week, I'd like them to remove that from their heads, because it's not going to happen. But yes, I'm very happy.
Well, Maddie, that is very booyaka. Right now, provisional Tier 3 champion. You hoist up that golden trophy. But just one last question. If it is to be decided to go over to Brazil instead, Are you going to have any worries going into that? If it is going to be any...
It won't be, so I don't need to worry.
Yeah, it's just a theory, a suspicion whether that's going to be the case, but I'm sure it is definitely champion. It's only because we had a couple of collisions. But the thing is, they might even report it. So we don't
Well, Lotto actually brake tested me down the straight, so...
Well, if that's the case, then that's different. We'll see. But I think, Pistol, you saw it another way, didn't you? But we'll see. But
yes, thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, that is your Mexican Grand Prix for Tier 3, for Season 22. Maldi, finally, after all this time, is your champion for after all this time. Thank you very much for watching. A very, very, very special end to this race. We will see you again next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'm sure Maldi will be partying there as much as he is now. Thank you for watching. And come back for us for the circuit at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. The Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.